In this video, I'm going to show you how to list domain names on Afternic from within your GoDaddy account. Frankly, I find it a lot easier to do this than to list domains in Afternic. It's one less account to log into. There's a better UI, and there are a lot of things that make it easier, but there are a couple of drawbacks, and I'll mention those as well. So first of all, here's the process for listing your domains for sale through GoDaddy on Afternic. Select the domain names that you want to add, and then come down here to the bottom and click List for Sale. Now you can enter whatever price you want. You can set them in bulk if you want for all the names or do them individually. So these are a couple of domains I got through Closeout, so I'll put in some prices here. You can set a buy now price as well as a floor price. Now, one drawback compared to Afternic is you cannot set a lease to own on this, and you also can't set a minimum bid price if you like to do that as well. I personally don't set minimum offers, but if you want to, you're going to have to do that through Afternic. You notice here the UI is actually quite a bit better than Afternic. You can hit the tab button to go from your buy now price to the floor price, which you can't actually do in Afternic. You need to use a mouse click in order to move between the fields in Afternic. You can also add for sales pages to all of your domain names or individually. This is pretty nice. It used to be that you had to go in and change the name servers for your domains to point to GoDaddy, and then you could add a sales page. But now they'll do it for you. You might have noticed that one of the domains I had was pointing to an old name server. So by adding this to all, it will change that name server automatically. You see here it has a message, will automatically update your name servers to Afternic name servers. There is another limitation here in that you can't pick your sales lander site. This is going to be the request price lander. You can't set up, for example, a lease to own lander or the cash parking or the buy now lander through this. Click Next. And shortly, it should tell us that the domain names are added. Both are added for sale. I should note a couple things here. One, the login for Afternic and GoDaddy is on a different timer, like the single sign-on system. And if you haven't signed in recently into GoDaddy, it might prompt you to log in again. There's actually a bug in here as well if you're using a two-factor key, such as a FIDO key, where you might not be able to log in at this point, and you might have to start the process over. I should also note that there's a different UI if you click on the list for sale on an individual domain name here. And this UI doesn't let you set a floor price. So if you'd like to set floor prices, which I recommend doing, highly recommend clicking the List for Sale button down here at the bottom rather than in line with the domain name. And finally, one last bonus for listing your domains through GoDaddy rather than Afternic is because they know that you control the domain, you don't have to go through any verification process. Hope this was helpful. Stay tuned for my next how-to video.